Coming up on Live Wire, we have a music-themed show for you today. First, we're going to talk to City Councilman Steve Cohn about East Sac Pops in the Park. And then Deborah Pittman from the Vita Academy is going to talk about their upcoming concert. So sit back, relax, put your feet up, take your shoes off first, and get ready for Live Wire. Welcome to Live Wire. I'm Bonnie Antonini filling in for Ray Tatter. As promised, today we have a musical themed show for you today. In the second half of our show, Deborah Pittman from the Vita Academy is going to regale us with some beautiful flute playing. But first, we're going to be talking with City Councilman Steve Cohn about East Sac Pops in the Park. Welcome, Steve.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Nice to see you after all this time. So this is my first time hosting where you're the guest. I've actually sat in the audience and watched before.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. You seem a lot more fun than Ray, actually. But
Well,
don't tell him I said that.
It's just between you and me. This will
Right.
go no further. Yeah. So tell me about Pops in the Park, East Sac Pops in the Park.
Yes, well, you know, we're very excited this year because it's our 20th overall anniversary.
20th?
Yeah,
Wow.
so going on for quite some time, quite an institution now. And it's our 16th year that we've been doing them in the evening. And that's really when it took off, when we started doing evening Pops in the Park. You would think we might have figured that out initially, that Sacramento summers are much more pleasant in the evening, but it took us a few years. But since we started doing them in the evening, we get thousands of people, and we do them in four parks in East Sacramento and River Park each Saturday in June at 6 o'clock. And so we're very excited about this year's lineup.
So they go on all four parks at the same time?
No. Well, each week we do.
Oh, I see. So week, the 2nd, June 2nd, it'll be in one park.
That's right. Our very first one is at McKinley Park, and that's going to be the Nibblers. This will be their first time for Pops in the Park, although some of the band members play with Mumbo Gumbo. But I understand they won the 2010 Sammys for for best funk and R&B.
So that's what the Nibblers are all about, funk
yeah,
and R&B?
Funk and R&B, get people up dancing and enjoying.
Will we be seeing you out there doing the funky chicken?
You never know. You never know. No
Somebody
more
with their
splits,
cell phone
though.
cameras.
I don't do the splits anymore.
Oh, those days are gone. Yeah, I know. Maybe a little tap dance.
There you go. I've been known to tap dance around questions. So
well, we could do a little duet because I can do a little tap myself. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first week, June 2nd.
Yeah, and then June 9th is in Glen Hall Park, which is the park over by the American River in River Park. If you think of where Sac State is, it's that neighborhood that's on the north side of 8th Street.
And who's playing there?
We have a band called Chris Gardner Band. They're from throughout our region. Some of them are from the foothills. So you might guess their genre, but it's country, more country rock, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we get a lot of country rock from up in the foothills.
So you want to wear your Stetson that night?
That would be a good night for that,
big
and a
old belt
two-step
buckle.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. That'll get your toe a-tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then the following week is the 16th.
And that's at East Portal Park, which is at 51st and M Street. And we have really the local favorites. They're called the Cue Balls. They all pretty much grew up in the neighborhood, either East Sac or River Park. They're guys that never grew up. So you're talking...
That's just a man, isn't it?
I guess I could be describing a lot of men.
Yeah.
But they really do a great job. And I have to say, they've been great about raising money for our parks, even aside from Pops in the Park. They do special concerts at the Torch Club and other places. So they're always a favorite, and they really get the place rocking. They do a lot of 70s, 80s
Ooh, how fun.
rock, even some 60s stuff, and occasionally they'll throw in something newer, just show they know what the young people are up to.
That they're hip.
Yeah, that they're hip.
They're with it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the final.
Well, the finale is another band that we've never had before, but we're really excited, and they're called Ivan Najera and Friends. And it's kind of it's a Latin beat. You could call it salsa, but it kind of harkens back almost to 50s era Cuban music. And although Ivan himself is actually from Ecuador, and he won what the Ecuadorian version of Star Search, which was before American Idol. They had Star Search, and so we're very excited, and I think people are really getting into that Latin rhythm when they play.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I'd love to learn how to salsa, actually.
Yeah. Well, there you got about a month to learn.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get right on that.
And so what's great about Pops is everybody has fun. It's free.
I love that.
It's free.
Nothing wrong with that.
And we get a lot of people walk and bike. We offer valet parking for free. Put on by the Sacramento Area Bicycle Advocates, SABA, and that's great. So a lot of people come by bike, and we start at 6. It's over before dark, so we get a lot of families, kids of all ages, from newborns up to 90 years old. So we get people of all ages. Great fun. And we actually raise money that we put back into the parks.
And how do you raise the money if the event is free?
Well, we have 10 great sponsors, which is almost too many to mention here. But we do have 10 sponsors. It's on all our posters and the brochures. And so that's where we get most of our money. We also have a beer and wine garden, Bogle.
Oh, that'll help give a little confidence out there for the salsa dancing.
There you go. And Bogle Vineyards and we have Hoppy Brewing, so we keep it local with our sponsors, food, beverages. So that's a way to also raise some money. People, can bring their own food if they want, but they don't have to. There's plenty of food and beverages there at the park.
Wow, and all these bands are local people, right?
Yeah. Sometimes we'll get people from the Bay Area for a band, but usually we keep it local.
It's nice to keep this as a Sacramento event.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, we'll occasionally allow Bay Area people. They're okay. But
they're all right, now and then.
I can say that since my wife grew up in the Bay Area. But,
you better say that since your wife.
But she ain't going back. She loves it here, so. And then, the other thing we do that's a lot of fun in August, we do Screen on the Green. And now we only are doing 2 official Screen on the Green, which is movies in the park. So it's just like a drive-in movie, except you walk in. And it's in the park, and we have a big screen. And so this year we're doing 2 kids movies. We have Madagascar, which is a great cartoon. That's on August 4th. And that's actually in South Natomas Community Center Park, which is off Truxell. And then on August 18th, Wizard of Oz. Now, who doesn't love that? Gets you back to the music thing.
Yeah.
That's at Glen Hall Park, again in River Park. And we start those right at dusk. As it starts to get dark, you better get over there. But this year, we're not officially calling it Screen on the Green because we want to make it clear this is for grown-ups only. We are doing a first only that I know of in a park, which is Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, how fun.
So we thought, come on, the grown-ups need to have a little fun too.
Now, are you going to be wearing your black stockings with the garter?
Not. No, I
had to ask.
I can guarantee I will not be doing that.
Okay.
That's kind of thing they might put up in a campaign photo.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked.
But actually, it should be a lot of fun, and we're doing that at Sutter's Landing Park, which some people know because it used to be the city dump, but we're converting it into a park little by little, and we're really reaching the tipping point where it's starting to feel more like a park. It's always been right by the river. So this is right, if you know where B Street Theater is at 28th and C, you just go over the levee towards the river, and it's right there. We've been converting it. We have a dog park, there's a skateboard park, there's bocce ball, bike course, hiking. But now we're going to introduce a concert, or not concert, but a movie there. And we thought Rocky Horror Picture Show would be a good one. I think we're starting at 10 rather than midnight. I know. Oh no, I take that back. We are doing it right at midnight.
And you can wear your tap shoes for Rocky Horror.
I could, or you could. You would probably look better in than I would, but. I'm sure there will be people dressed in all manner of costume at that.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Is that going to be a free event as well?
All those are free as well. Yeah, we do it upright in District 3. So yeah, those are all free, and we want people to enjoy our parks. I just read something that was very encouraging to me, which was we were recognized by Trust for Public Land, which is a national organization, to have the second best park system in all of the country, right here in the city of Sacramento.
That's incredible.
Now, I was disappointed that San Francisco was first.
Oh, but I bet your wife was kind of happy.
Well, I'm trying to figure what did they do, and I'm thinking they probably got points because of the ocean, because I'm thinking our parks are even better than San Francisco.
Yeah, and we don't have that fog and crowds.
You can enjoy our parks.
Exactly.
You don't have to put on winter coats in summer.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So I think that's pretty good, though, that we got number 2 in the entire
wonderful.
Country.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, and we really, I think credit goes to a lot of people over the years. I certainly think about our former mayor, Heather Fargo, who made parks a real focal point for her time on the council. That's all we heard about was parks, and it looks like it paid off with that rating. So,
well, this sounds like a wonderful event. A wonderful summer with the movie and then the concerts, and we're unfortunately out of time. So everybody is going to need to just come to the East Sac Pops in the Park.
You got it.
And get ready to dance for 4 solid weeks.
You got it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Councilman, for joining us.
My pleasure.
And I will see you in, there's our camera. We'll take a break, and I'll see you with Deborah Pittman when we come back.
Life, an everyday miracle of survival. Today, the future of all life on Earth hangs in the balance. What happens next depends on us.
Well, open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you'll find love, 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 and love. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family. I look into your heart and you'll find that the sky is yours.
Look at what happened in Japan. It could happen here next.
The American Red Cross suggests that you have earthquake preparedness kits in your home. Well, in your home and in your car. A backpack one belongs in your car with the same things in it as you have in your home. The home one would come in a bucket that you leave in your garage for easy access. It should contain flashlight, a radio, preferably a wind-up type, that you can wind it up, you don't have to plug it in, and it'll last at least for 2 or 3 hours, and you just wind it back up again. You should have a first aid kit, Band-Aids, duct tape, which you can use for nearly anything, and plenty of water. The Red Cross recommends 2.5 gallons per person per day.
Welcome back to Live Wire. Well, continuing on with our music theme, I'd like to introduce Deborah Pittman from the Vita Academy. Welcome, Deborah.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Now tell me about the Vita Academy.
Okay, Vita stands for Vocal and Instrumental Teaching Artists. And we basically have been in this position for the last 2 years. The organization existed prior to that, but under a different name and under a different support system. So Vita Academy basically brings together emerging artists, musicians to be exact, an education program in the schools, and a chamber orchestra. And the idea is that we're training these young pre-professionals to develop a program of education, of advocacy for the arts, and ways to engage audiences. I've been in Sacramento for about 31 years now. I moved here originally to play with the Sacramento Symphony. And I did that many, many years ago. I did it for 9 years. And we had a very strong, vital arts community, which has since become much smaller. And so we're trying to fill the gap that has been created by the lack of having a symphony, a full-time symphony orchestra in this region.
Now what age range, you say young people, how young are you talking?
Our teaching artists are collegiate and post-collegiate. Most of the teaching artists have come directly out of Sac State Music Department. And we have, I wrote down a few names to share with you. Horn player Liz Barton and Angel Contreras, conductor Ryan Murphy, and violinist Charles Sparrow IV. They all have vital performing and teaching careers in this area as a result of working with Vita Academy. So they help to create the programs and to take these programs into the schools, elementary schools at this point, and help to fill the gap.
Okay, it looks like we have a slideshow going on that talks about the Voices of the World. That's the name of the concert coming up, isn't that right?
Yes, the Voices of the New World is a program which has at the pinnacle the Dvorak New World Symphony. And one of the exciting things about how this program has come together is we are featuring Southland Sketches. Charles Sparrow, that violinist that I mentioned, is playing the solo on that piece. And that piece is by Harry T. Burley. Harry T. Burley was an African-American composer who studied with Dvorak when he came to this country. And he introduced Dvorak to the music of the African-Americans. We're featuring a piece by James DeMars called Far from the Water, and that's a work that I'm going to be the soloist on, playing Native American flute. We have a piece by Chen Yi called We Are America, and it's about the experience at Angel Island. We're going to play the Aaron Copland Fanfare for the Common Man. So all of this is coming together in basically an American sound and American influences. We have the concert is going to be presented 2 more times. We did some programs yesterday morning for youth audiences. We did 2 programs for over 500 school children. And we're going to do a version of that concert on Thursday evening at Esparto High School at 6 o'clock. And the big culminating concert is on Saturday, the 26th, at 7 p.m. at Sac State in the Music Recital Hall.
And how can people get tickets to these events?
They can go directly to our website, which is vitaacademy.org. That's VITA academy.org. Or they can call 916-486-8538. And we're offering some discount tickets if you just write the word orchestra, ORCHESTRA, in the code you can qualify for a 50% discount ticket to this concert. One of the things that's really exciting about this program is our outreach into the schools has included a string program. A lot of our students are studying violin and have been studying violin for the last few years. And the program out in Esparto, the students are studying both violin and the recorder. And the recorder program comes to us via Carnegie Hall. They have a wonderful outreach program called Link Up, in which students basically study their curriculum that they created. It's administered through our teaching artists. And then they come to the big culminating concert at the end of the year. They sit in the audience and they play the recorders along with the orchestra. And it's a really exciting program. I first had a chance to see that program at Carnegie Hall. And I was sitting there amongst 3,000 third graders all playing their recorder along with the audience.
How did that sound?
It was amazing. I tried to get a little video footage, but I was gently tapped on the shoulder and reminded that this is a union hall. But
Right.
I just really wanted to share that with people. And so we've been doing, this is the second year that we're doing the Link Up program at schools for third graders. And we're hoping to expand that program to include not only violin and recorder, but to include ukulele, and maybe even take that all the way to a mariachi ensemble. And so we're really doing a lot to engage the students with hands-on arts, and something that is sorely missing from the schools at
Oh,
this
it
point.
absolutely is. If the parents can't afford private lessons, it's
Exactly.
just near to impossible to get your children to learn.
Exactly. I'm from the East Coast. You can probably hear it in my accent. But when I grew up in New York, there were arts in all the schools. No matter which neighborhood you grew up in, there were arts and arts education. And we need to have a great deal more of that happening for our children today. I know that there's a big emphasis on testing, but studies have shown that students learn better and retain better when both sides of the brain are engaged.
Well, and life isn't only about academics.
Exactly.
Some people will never do academics. They may be a brilliant violinist or cellist.
Exactly.
And, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
It's not a less than experience.
Exactly. And one of the exciting things about the VITA outreach program into the schools is that we're not looking necessarily to develop the recorder players of the future, but we're trying to give students an opportunity to really understand and appreciate the arts by having their hands on those instruments.
Okay, I think we have a slideshow now, or a video we're going to see.
Okay.
Well, that's just giving us a little sample of the music. If people want to see the whole thing, they have to go to the concert, don't they?
Definitely. And they have two opportunities, Thursday night in Esparto and Saturday night in Sacramento.
That's great. Now, I see you're holding in your hand. Tell us
Yes.
about this instrument.
This is a Native American flute. This particular one is made of cedar. And I discovered this instrument. I didn't discover it, but it came into my life several years ago, and I haven't stopped playing it since. Basically, it gives me a lot more freedom. I'm a clarinetist by training. I play clarinet in the orchestra as well. And when I play clarinet, when the clarinet is in my hands, basically my body wants to play Mozart.
Oh.
When I pick this instrument up, I seem to be free to improvise and to play a much more wider variety of musical styles.
How interesting.
So the piece for the concert is by American composer James DeMars. It was written in 2011, and it's called Far from the Water. It's for Native American flute and orchestra. And I'll just give you a little bit of the opening.
Okay, great.
And at that point, the orchestra comes in and joins me. It's an incredibly beautiful, very ethereal piece of music. And generally, the way this instrument exists in a wide variety of Native American cultures is not necessarily as a symphonic instrument, but more and more people are building these instruments so that they're based on the traditional scale and so that you can play with traditional instruments, and that's really exciting for me. So I do improvise on this, but I also play with traditional ensembles as well.
It has such a rich tone to it.
It is. It's all the whole idea behind this instrument is the spirit that comes through the voice and through the breath and into the instrument. And one of the things that got the students really excited yesterday at the concert is that I let them in on a secret that if they could play the recorder, they could learn this very easily as well.
It's very similar, yes.
Very similar. So hopefully we will be able to add this to our program in the schools as well.
Will you be playing the clarinet in this concert
I will
as
be
well?
playing the clarinet in the Dvorak and the Copeland and most of the symphonic works as well, yes.
Well, it sounds wonderful. Do you play anything else besides, like two is not enough?
Well, mostly I play the flutes, the Native American flutes and the clarinet. I play the bass clarinet also. Okay. And that's what I moved here 31 years ago to play with the Sacramento Symphony.
If my kids had only, my son plays the cello and then the other kid plays the violin and then the piano. It's like a nice, small instrument like that, portable, would have been so much nicer.
I think my parents would have rather heard this in the background than the clarinet all those years.
Or a little piccolo,
yes.
Just carrying that around. Well, I'm afraid we are out of time.
Wow.
Boy, that just shot by.
It really did.
Hopefully everybody will come and go to at least one of the two concerts, bring
so.
their children,
Yes.
expose them to some beautiful music, which is sorely missed so often in our life. Yeah. But this concludes our music theme for today.
Okay.
We've got our East Sac Pops in the Park and our Dvorak concert coming up for Sacramentans.
Yes.
A little something for everybody.
Thank you so much.
Well, that is it for me today. Ray Tatter will be back next week, we're hoping. And if not, I guess I'll be back myself. So thank you all for joining us on Live Wire. We'll see you next time.